Okay, folks, welcome to our traditional St. Patrick's Day painting event. I don't know why it's a tradition, it just kind of happened. I don't know if I have ever worked on Irish things during a St. Patrick's Day painting. I would have to go back and see. The only thing Irish I've ever worked on before was my medieval Irish army. But that was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago? Maybe even longer than that. Anyways, big fan of how those guys turned out. Let's put some of this stuff away so we can find ourselves. And in the last session, we just got done with their cousin, something like that. And we're working on this little guy here, which is the hillbilly hacksaw. So we need to go back and finish, since it's appropriate to do it today, work on the Irish mobile, which we're calling Murphy's Lawnmower. Okay, let's put this down here. We shouldn't need that. We are going to open a beverage. I have this funky looking Guinness can. Still have another one of those, but I think one of these is more than enough. No one captures a Guinness summer quite like, oh, I hope this isn't skunked. This has got to be from Christmas. Oh, you hear that little widget making it sound. Oh, it fits in here just fine. Still tastes good. So I need to cut this thing open and see what that little widget looks like. Might be useful for Gaslands. It doesn't look like. Oh, maybe it's just round. I figured it'd look like a little mini keg or something like that. Anyhow, we'll do this until we fall asleep. Okay, so we have this Jeepster. That's literally what this vehicle is called, is a Jeepster. It's an experimental is not really the name for it, but prototype. It's a prototype Jeep that never went into production. And there's a whole series of Irish vehicles called clover cars. That's literally what Hot Wheels calls them. Clover cars. And I think they all have clovers on them. This one happens to be mostly white. Most of them are green. And have a series of, I don't know, 5 or 6 different vehicles that they made several years ago. And I actually found this in the bargain bin. So it was a little dinged up. Very little dinged up. And we have painted some details on here, and we're going to attempt to finish her tonight. So this is Murphy's Lawnmower instead of Murphy's Lawn Mower, and it's got a bunch of saw blades in there that have already been primed black. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is we're going to go ahead and paint those saw blades. Going to get our Iron Warriors base color. I realize there might actually not be a lot of people on here because they're out celebrating St. Patrick's Day. But I do the live video on my phone, but the problem is the resolution isn't very good, And everybody's going to think I'm left-handed because the video's reversed. That's really annoying that you can't reverse that. At least not when you're using the phone. So we're just going to go over this. As a matter of fact, we're actually going to use a brush that's got a little bit more oomph to it. This invariably ends up messing up the brush. We don't want to do that one that's... We have precision we do precision type things with it. Okay. Well, that is the base color of the razor blades. And this bumper is mainly black, but we're going to do the trim here in metal so it stands. Was originally molded in white. Painted it to have a little bit of contrast there. A little bit anyways. Okay, I don't think it gets anything else metal colored. I don't think so. Oh, rinse that joker. Let's go up a level to lead belcher. Make that just a little bit shinier. I guess this is like the exhaust. Sometimes you got to figure out what some of these things are. Hot Wheels loves to do. I guess I probably should be painting this at the same time. Yeah. That's just an MG. We can't mount that yet in case we need to get on the inside somewhere. Hot Wheels love doing dragsters. You have all these cars, but what's that little thing it has on the back? This little parachute. It likes doing dragsters for cars that don't look like dragsters. You know? Alright, let's get our black out. We're going to have to paint the headlamps, at least initially. Have them in black. A little bit of water. A wee bit. This chair's gotten to the point where it's squeaking all the time too. I'm the despoiler of chairs. Happy St. Patrick's Day, man. Having a Guinness. Slowly, so I don't fall asleep. I've been really tired. Your chair squeaks too because of your fat ass. Well, as a matter of fact, of all the things that are fat on me, my ass isn't one of them. It's gotten smaller, actually, because I don't walk around as much as I used to. It's all in the belly thing. I am with child. But I know that's what people call it. It's my fat ass. Not me. Yeah, so I need to work for a company like QC, for like a chair company. You know, it's like yeah. Okay, ya basta. Ya basta. Alright, that's the headlamps. Alright, before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and do the black lining now. That's going to make this stuff pop. Or it better, or I'm doing it wrong. There's squeaks and... Well, the reality is I don't really need it to rotate. It's not like I'm going to roll over there. It's just, you know, it's... I got this thing used. Brand new. It even had the sticker on it, but... You know, it doesn't take me long to ruin it. Start making sounds. Making it make sounds. And it doesn't bother me that much. Drives the wife crazy. I got this one because the other one was starting to make too much sound. Now this one's making the same amount of sounds. But this one's like made of mesh, so it's not like, you know, I'm not like sweating my ass off. Not doing anything for St. Patrick's Day? I was only one of two people wearing green at work. Like, if you tried doing that stunt, what stunt? Not wearing green on St. Patrick's Day. You would have an atomic wedgie at school. I don't know if they're more inclusive now, but in the 80s, you didn't dare. I mean, I don't dare not wear green on St. Patrick's Day. Well, for starters, I like wearing green. Okay? So that helps. But, yeah, that's like... That's ingrained. But I have another Guinness too, but we won't be drinking more than one. Otherwise, we'll do drunk. Isn't that what that show was called? Drunk History. You got an early start drinking whiskey in your coffee this afternoon. I don't have any Irish whiskey. I ran out. Now, alcohol lasts a long time. I'm out of it. I got lots of other stuff. It's just not St. Patrick's Day approved. I don't think I've ever had that corned beef and cabbage thing that people eat. Just seems a bit basic, you know. Sipping on the rocks and already got a good buzz. Yeah, see, this will give me more buzz than whiskey. I had to look out because it doesn't make any sense. Because what is this? 5% if you're lucky, and whiskey's like 40%. But because it's carbonated, it opens the pores in your stomach and it absorbs it quicker. You know? Kind of feel like you took that coffee and you poured it in your asshole, you'd get drunk in no time. So I've heard. Don't try that at home. But if you're going to try it, make sure you're at home when you do it. You had corned beef and cabbage this past Sunday. Just seems like it'd be awfully bland. Like, speaking of corned beef, if you're going to have a corned beef sandwich, I would much rather have pastrami. It's got more flavor. Aren't they like cousins? Right? It's like the same thing. Like, isn't pastrami like corned beef with like extra flavorings? What's the other Irish thing they eat? Shepherd's pie. You know, that's a mixed bag. You know, it's kind of like meatloaf. You got to know who's making it. You know, whoever's making it needs to pass a background check before I put it in my mouth. Like chili. I like eating chili, but not from some rando. Do you have an easily recognizable Irish last name? I had a friend I used to wargame with that I happened to like wargaming with him, but everybody else I wargamed with him really didn't like him. And I lost touch with him. He came one time, he moved to Pennsylvania or something like that. I lost track of him. And I've been trying to find him for years. I mean, I didn't just spend all time looking for him. I just like, oh, I wonder what happened or whatever. It's really hard to find somebody named Michael O'Neill, you know. Also had roasted potatoes and chocolate pudding for dessert made from Bailey's creamer. Turned out okay. I did most of the cooking so my girlfriend can sleep. You love corned beef, but comes from Brazil, where they chop down the rainforest to grow grass for the cows. I'd be more worried about what kind of meat it is than if they came chopped down the rainforest. Brazilian corned beef. That sounds like a covert term for something else. Just saying. This is some Brazilian Woman's Day. Oh, it's got people's names on here. Lexi, Emily, Sarah, Danielle, Christina, Megan, Candy. There's your pole dancer right there. Kat, Lauren. No Karens. Is there different names on here? Yeah, there's different names over here. Cam. that say? Cherie? Here's another candy. Guess there's a lot of candy in this car. And a Val? I don't know. But this was like some Brazilian edition. I don't know what makes this thing Brazilian. But last name is Anderson. No relation to singer John Anderson or Pamela Anderson. I don't know who the fuck Jan Anderson is. Pamela Anderson, I was never a Pamela Anderson fan. Still am not. You're told your name Brownell is Irish. It may be, but people don't go down to the United States and people don't go, in the U.S. would recognize that as being an Irish name. Of course, I guess it would have to be one of those, some things or another's to be Irish. Because even, like, if you see a name that has an MC, that's like, I automatically associate that with Scottish. But there's an equal number of people in Ireland that have MC names. Country singer. Well, that explains why I don't know who he is. I know less about country than rap, and I don't know shit about rap. John Anderson, country singer, Seminole Wind song come to mind? No. No. But if it's country, then I wouldn't, John Anderson from Yes. Okay. Is he the singer? Great. Now I'm going to have Roundabout stuck in my head. I was talking about, and I talk about music frequently, but I feel like I'm pretty versed, at least with rock music, because that's all I used to listen to is, the rock station, and then they don't have a rock station anymore, so they did away with that. But there's some stuff that I never knew who they were, who sang, unless you could recognize it, because, unless you have any of their other music, and they sound similar, you wouldn't know who the hell somebody is, because if they don't announce, okay, this is now playing whatchamacallit by so-and-so, So, yeah. And especially if it's like a song that you don't like. And one comes to mind right now. So there's this song, I'm talking about stuff they would play, not 50s, I don't know really anything about 50s rock, but Rock 104 used to play 60s, 70s, 80s, and I guess 90s that was coming in there, I knew Brownell from college. I think he graduated engineering or something equally prestigious. He's the one who introduced me to the old space game called Full Thrust. Man, that's been 14 years ago. Well, I haven't been to college in 31 fucking years. Wow. Yikes. But my buddy Marty came over here. He was like, oh, I need to play some rock music since we were playing the race game. And I'm like, all right. So we start going through a medley of different things. And then we started talking about music and stuff like that. But he's like 10 years older than I am. And Mitch is close to my age, so Mitch is familiar with stuff. But, there's, what did we come across? That damn song from that British artist that's on, that got all the hype from Stranger Things, whatever the name of that lady is. And Mitch and I are looking at each. Marty brought it up, and I told Mitch and I looked at each other. It's like they didn't play that in the '80s. They didn't play that here in the United States. Maybe they did somewhere, but they didn't play it in Florida. Brownell. You see, Brownell is the people that have all the gun parts, right? Or things from Brownells. They've got all magazines and all kinds of stuff for Brownells. Have I ordered from Brownells? I think I have. I needed to get, I think, a follower. I ended up buying a pistol used, and the magazine that it came with it had a follower that wasn't great. Or I think that's what I got from Brownells. Maybe I got something else. Maybe I got some screws or something. I forget what it was. The people are like real particular, even more particular than food. They're real particular about music. Real particular. I like that guy, I don't like that guy, I don't like that. That guy's no good, he sucked, you know. But the thing about music is that if you think about it, I don't listen to it very often. But when you do, you've got like memories associated with things. Right? Maybe it reminds you of, some date you went on, or, some trip to the beach, or, a song that makes you feel good, or one that makes you sad, or something like that. So they're like real personal. For me, it's just sounds because I don't hear well, and I really don't pick up on lyrics very well at all. So I don't really care what the hell the song's about. I'm just like, do I like the sound of it, or does it never get started? Hey, what's up, Marcus? B and Susan B. Anthony is Brownell. Aguilar is not a common. It is in Mexico. My ancestors went down there and baptized a whole fuck ton of people. It's a fairly common last name in Mexico. I looked it up. I had the history of it. Some knightly order or something like that. It's like, well, why would you voluntarily give somebody a last name that they had to fucking earn by combat? Like, that doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of things about slavery, for instance, that don't make sense to me. One of the things that doesn't make any sense to me at all is to just give your slaves your last name. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't have had slaves in the first place, but that's beside the point. How's it going? I clicked for the two ladies, and now I'm disappointed it's just Tony. That's right. Did I do okay with the two that I picked? I wanted to make it racier, but chat wouldn't let me. I wanted to make it racier without showing anything, One of them looks like Emma Stone, I think. It's funny, Emma Stone's really attractive sometimes, and sometimes it's like, man, her eyes are really far apart. Womp womp. I definitely get a lot of views if it was a couple of girls on the channel and they were attractive. Actually, what am I kidding? You weirdos, not you weirdos in particular, but gamers in general, they would they'd be happy with like a 3. I am not clicking for it. I live in a college town. I'm not clicking on less than a 7.5. Sorry. Maybe an 8. Yeah, gamer girls are really weird. I am not drinking whiskey. I don't have any whiskey. So we're drinking a funky canned Guinness. I would have preferred to have... Actually, to be honest with you, I would have preferred to have nothing. But it's getting into the spirit of it, They didn't give name. When slaves were free, they took the name of their past owners because they didn't have anything better. Yeah, you saw that, huh? Well, you know what that super long ET finger's for? I'm not going to tell you. Reel it in, reel it in. What's that miniatures channel that has some Irish girl? She's really attractive. You know, she's got that sing-songy voice that the Irish people have. Which is funny because Mexicans kind of have a sing-songy voice too. They can. I mean, they don't sound anything alike, but... Alright, we need to add some colorations to this. You're going to move along some painting on my section of Combat Miniatures British. Maybe there could be Irish. Well, not Irish Army. They stood out. I know, this Combat Miniatures British are excellent. They're really good. Really, really good. Those are the ones that you got from Valor, whatever the heck they're called. Valor something. I was afraid that those guys would be like really mangled looking molds. I saw a thing on Facebook today. I got a notification from Chad that said, we're closing now. And I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't buy enough stuff from him in the last year. And because it's been like a year since I've ordered anything from him. Because I don't need it. And hell, I haven't painted the last stuff I got from him. No slight on him. I'm just, I'm in a hole. And I was like, oh shit, he closed up shop. But it was just his annual, I think he's got, a lawn service or something like that? Yeah, the Brits are cool. They got a good variety. They got some good they've got some really good NCOs too. The only thing that's really not very good about the combat miniatures are the Russians. There's not very... Yeah, he's closing for his, his thing that he normally does to work on lawn. He closes like April through June or something like that, or April through July. So he put a post, and I saw it, about, get your orders in March so he can get them done by April 15th. It's interesting that he closes on tax day. I wonder if he switches over. I wonder if it has anything to do with that. Thank God it does. Yeah, I haven't ordered from him in a long time. It's not because the stuff isn't great, because it is. It's just, I got those A13s, and I got those 4. I don't have a single one of them painted. It's alright, they'll get painted eventually. They're beautiful. Irish units were some of the best in U.S. Civil War, fought on both sides. They go on both ways. They fought for drink, huh? I thought they just fought on the north side. But what do I know? It's Civil War history. There's no reason I should know that. Okay, that already looks better. Let's get some. You know what I can't believe about Ireland is that they drive on the same side of the road that the British do. I'm actually surprised that that's the case. I think they would just be like, oh, you do it like that over there? Well, we're not going to do it that way because, you know, all the angst. Chad's printing skills, Coulon designs, awesome. Has Chad's printing gotten better? I'm not saying there was anything wrong with it, but I'm like, you know, I'm sure it's like my airbrushing's gotten better. I got no interest in ever doing 3D printing. You know, as slow as I paint, I can afford to buy anything I want. You know, as long as, you know, you just don't buy shit you're not going to work on. There we go. Let's put a little ring of black around that. I got back yesterday, and I was surfing around for something. I was surfing around to see if anybody had any videos of our conventions down in Orlando, and I noticed there was a guy that did have a video. He's some interview guy or something like that. Very salesy type guy. That I remember when he was doing it several years ago. He was interviewing different people. Didn't want to interview me, didn't ask, whatever. But what, you know, not a war gamer, was just kind of like local happenings, and he was talking. So he does this interview for like an hour long with the president of our chapter, and it's moderately interesting. I would say that I'm sorry, I saw two different interviews. This guy was interviewing one of the game masters that actually does really good work. And I noticed that he had very few views. Very, very few views. Like, I got more views than that. And I don't get a lot of views on like stuff that's on this format, right? If I do it on the phone, I get a lot more views, but it's annoying because the quality isn't there, and everything's reversed, and you can't unreverse. You can unreverse it. You have to film it, so I don't know if I'm centered on the things. That doesn't really work. But I was like surprised, like, man, he really didn't get hardly any views. And then this other guy did an interview with the president of our thing back there, and this was like 3 years or 2 years ago or something like that. And had been no views. Like, nobody had seen the video yet. I'm like, man. It's like, I guess I feel better about my videos. Only some of you guys go on, you know. But that's why, you know, I don't mind doing this live because I'm doing something while the video is going on. So let's say there's very few people that see it. You guys are at least keeping me company, even if it's only 3 of you, right? If I make a video that is made for people to watch, right, I expect to get more views on it. And when you don't, you're like, well, why did I bother even doing all that editing and stuff, you know? You wouldn't order 3D prints from anyone else. Fair enough. There's not that many people that do them in the United States. I don't think. I don't need any 3D prints. I got plenty of stuff to work on. I need to finish up the stuff I have. I gotta find a place to put the things that I finished to make room to paint more. That's why I didn't go to I didn't go to that convention in January. I think it was January. It might have been February in Jacksonville for modelers, for models. I don't need any more models. You know, I don't need $10 tank models. Like, you know. Now, if there were two, I'm not going to pass up $2 tank models, right? But $10, you know, I don't need any. I don't mind building the models, but to be honest with you, I'd rather just spend all the time painting them. What do you think about those models that Ron came up with where he was in cahoots with whoever that was, Colonel Mueller or whatever the hell it was, and several people complained about the size of the Colonel Mueller miniatures, like they were too big. Like the, you know, they're like, cause they're like heroic, they're Games Workshop-y. I need to get vehicle crews, and I haven't found anybody who makes vehicle crews that I like how they look. I like the ones that Stan Johansson made, but he passed away. The ones I have are from Stan Johansson, and they're really 20 millimeter, even though these are 1/64th. But look, they're not all the same scale, right? This is significantly larger than it should be, and this is smaller than it should be. It's more squat. You know, there's some variances to them. That's okay, you know. What didn't you know about? Oh, the yeah, it was like a Kickstarter that he did with like some Eastern Front thing. You know, Kickstarter, because there's some people that want to do their own printing, right? You and I don't want to do that, but there's some other people that want to do that. If I did that, it would just, there's so many things that would go sideways. I'm like, I don't want to do that, you know? All right, I'm going to throw a warning shot. I don't know how this is going to turn out. There's some things about this that I'm not happy with how it's turning out. And I'm gonna do the proper follow up. We're not giving up. But I'm not seeing it yet. Now it may be like, okay, not until you weather it, you're gonna be able to see it, but like I'm still not happy with the Dirty Cougar. And there's parts about it that I am happy with it, but you know, the build is fine. The pieces I use, that's fine. It's just the whole. It was that pink splatter just threw everything off, and then it's got more mud in areas I wouldn't have put it in, and you know, it's not what I envisioned. Next up on deck is a Kulan Panzersportwagen 204F repurposed Panhard. Yeah, Panhard 178. Still need to finish your Battletech. The old ones or the new ones? You know, because they got the new Battletech game, and they're like plastic miniatures or resin or whatever the hell they are. And I bet you they're not the same scale as the old ones. You know, the ones that were made by, was it FASA? FASA and Raul Partha? They were Raul Partha. I had some of those. I had about 30 of them. I'd say it looked okay, but maybe not by today's standards. New ones? I wish they made those with for Transformers. I'd love to play a BattleTech game like Transformers. They're not the same scale, of course not. That's just to fuck everybody. Do they have good variety, or are they just like they don't have all the mechs? I had about 30 of them. It's an okay game. The video game on the computer is much better. Like, you could just, like, save it. It's basically the same game. One of the designers of BattleTech is involved in that video game. Like, no wonder. Like, it figures out the heat and all that stuff. And it looks pretty decent. It's got good graphics. Well, hopefully don't pull a Games Workshop, or does Warlord do the same thing where it's like, nah, we don't want to finish this. We'll discontinue it. We just ran out of steam. Kind of hard to get about. It's hard for me to get excited about companies that do stuff like that. Where they cut your losses, and then if you bought in early to them, they leave you hanging. Rob Partha made the miniatures? Yeah. Yeah, they disappeared for a while, and I think somebody brought them back, the old ones. Some of them were weird poses. Some of them were not really awkward poses. Talking about the original ones. I never liked the Clan crap. You really hate that company? Well, you know, what is there to like about it? Okay? I think they have decent looking products, and the people that paint their stuff is really amazing. But I don't like the background stories of them. I don't like their business model where they can leave you hanging. And their stuff is too expensive to do that. You know? Oh, you could keep playing the game even if they discontinue it. I said, yeah, but, you know, there's some people that aren't going to play a game if it's out of print. You know? Maybe those are people you don't want to play with, right? Well, one of the advantages to playing Warhammer 40K, I think, would be you could go to any hobby store or a game store, and there'll be a group of people that play it. Team U sells minis 3D print. I would never buy from Team U. I bought from AliExpress and ended up buying something that, unbeknownst to me, was plagiarized. But Team U, you know, I'm just not convinced that I'm going to get what I'm going to get. You have to pay them in Bitcoin or something like that. I don't even know how that even would work. I don't want to. That scares me a little bit. What's the other? There's other Team U things. There's what is it? The ones that do clothes. I don't know what the hell they're called. Shine or Sheen or something like that. Oh, this looks like a great dress. You get it back, it looks like it's made out of saran wrap. You know. I ordered extra large. Well, it's extra large Chinese size. Wish. Yeah, Wish is another one. Which one is your daughter ordered from? Shine, Wish? My wife is involved in a business right now that has to do with something that's being manufactured in China, and it's a nightmare. It wasn't. It was a. It was something that's being manufactured over there because it can't be manufactured here. And I'm like, you gotta like, you can get Chinese people to make it, but you gotta make it in the U.S., man. All the trying to get through customs and all the nightmare. And it's being manufactured in China because they have the materials, and it's a Chinese thing, you know. So. You got customers here in the States and wondering where their stuff is, and it's stuck in customs, or they don't give you an answer, or what. It's just a shit show. Da 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 da, shit show. You know, I've ordered from AliExpress before, and sometimes you think it's, oh, I'm going to save a lot of money because I can get like, you know, S model stuff, right? S models are all made in China, and they're excellent. And they have about the best decals of anybody, as long as they're in the right color. I mean, they're on good register and stuff like that. They just, you know, sometimes you're supposed to get yellow numbers and they come in as orange. But regardless, their stuff is really good. But by the time you add the individual shipping of each item, even though it seems really cheap, you just save for just ordering it on eBay. You know, you got peace of mind. Like, you know, it just depends on how much risk you want. I mean, I think the best peace of mind, I personally think, is Amazon. I've never had a problem with anything on Amazon. If you want to return it, you know, they don't give you any shit, you return it. You don't have to pay for returning it. They package it up, everything. It's honestly pretty damn simple. It's cheap. It's easier than going to a physical store. Now, they don't have everything you want, and sometimes things are a lot more expensive than you want them to be, but and it just depends. There's like some stores I don't want to go into, you know. Like Marty was searching for something the other day. He went to, I found these at Five and Below. I've been in Five and Below 4 times, 5 times. Every time I go in there, I'm like, look at all this bullshit that they want us to buy here in the States, and it's just crap. And like I've walked out and not bought anything. Like it's just garbage, you know. But he found some cars there. I said, well, S model look good. Never purchased any. They're hard to get. I do like Caesar miniatures, and I think they're Chinese made. I think they are too. So I'll say this again. They can make really good things in China if they want to. Just like they can make good things in the United States if they want to. What's the name of that one company that has the Chinese trumpeter? I have a trumpeter tank. It's excellent. It's excellent. I thought, oh, Chinese is a piece of shit. No. I think of all the areas that probably make shitty stuff, I'd say the Eastern Europe stuff is just up in the air. You never know. A lot of the Eshy stuff is just, but you know, Eshy stuff's old, you know. But I'm not a big fan of some of those Eshy kits. They don't go together well. You got to fight them. It's like, man, why did I buy you to create all these problems for me? You know. No, the S model stuff are excellent. And so is Pegasus. Pegasus is Chinese. And some of their models are excellent. And some of them are like, you give them to somebody that you hate. That King Tiger is atrocious. But they can make some things if they want to. that are good quality. I thought the Pegasus models were actually Russian because they make so many Russian things. You got one of those, huh? Well, I told you about it. It's excellent. It's a good value. It's a really good value. You know? You get 2 hulls and 4 turrets. I'm gonna go ahead and weather this thing now and just see where that takes us. I need this to start looking more like the finished product, because right now I'm not feeling it. Yeah, some of these model companies, it's almost like they got like limited runs of them. Not everything's made in China. It depends. None of these vehicles are made in China. Actually, Maestos are the only ones made in China. Matchboxes are normally Thailand. They even have a little cute little elephant on there. Aww. And Hot Wheels, I believe, are in... which one was this one? Thailand, Malaysia. I believe Hot Wheels are in Malaysia, yes. And they don't have a little cute little elephant because... Yeah, Malaysian, Thailand. Yep. And it's like, the whole cost, well, they make it in China because it's cheaper. The cheapest paints I have are these craft paints. All the craft paints are made in the United States. All of them. Made by Plaid Enterprises in Norcross, Georgia. Americana. Made by DecoArt in Stanford, Kentucky. Apple Barrel, made in Norcross. Yeah, and these are like $1 or something for all these, So, they can make cheap things here if they want. I don't know, it almost seems like, what can people get away with? That's what they're charging for it, All right, let's get some chocolate brown in here. So none of you guys are going out drinking tonight, huh? I've never done anything for St. Patrick's Day. And I haven't, it's not like I'm anti-Irish and don't want to. It's just that I haven't. Never done anything for that day, probably never will. You missed that Arizona tea is made in New York. Really? That's embarrassing. It's not made by the Snapple people, is it? Remember that Snapple lady? She'd drive me fucking crazy. I wouldn't buy shit from that. That's like, I want to listen to somebody talks like this. Hey, how was that soda? Was it good for you? Was it good? Marcus, you got to leave before you start talking like those people. Forget about it. You got to get the hell out of there. Because when you live, they might have a tax. Oh, you want to leave? Oh, we gotta tax you for leaving. Oh, you want to leave? You want to leave New York City? Oh, you gotta pay your own ransom. Brooklyn, baby, huh? I remember when we were there, my daughter, for some reason, said, I want to get an Italian sandwich, and I want to get one of those Italian sandwiches in New York. And I'm sitting there thinking, could just get that anywhere. But okay, fine, we're going to go. So wherever the hell we went, Soho, I don't know where the fuck we went. We went far away to go get this sandwich. And we get there, there's nowhere to sit, you know? There's nowhere to sit. And everybody in that place that works there had a fucking attitude, you know? Like I'd been sleeping with her sister or something like that, you know? It's like, man, I just can't deal with that kind of angst. You know? And it wasn't that good. Went there and there was we got a recommendation from somebody and they made a reservation for us to eat at one of their favorite restaurants. I forget what it was called. It was near Times Square issue. Italian restaurant. Here's the problem with Italian food. All of us have eaten exceptional Italian food, right? In our lives. All of us. So now you have to compare this new Italian food to everything else you've ever eaten. And a lot of it just falls short. Never been to Brooklyn. Not missing anything. Hey, I liked it. I think the city's cool. The skyscrapers are, you know, it's like going to another planet for me. I like all that. I like that you can move around without having a vehicle. That's handy for if you're visiting. Like, I would want to live there. Woodbury, New York? What's made in Woodbury, New York? Woodbury, New York. That sounds like one of those places where they make all the cereal. Where's the place they make all the cereal in? White Plains. White Plains, New York, right? In Kalamazoo, Michigan. That's those places that only exist on cereal boxes. If I remember correctly. Kalamazoo. What a silly name place. That Rancho Cucamonga. Sounds like somebody wanted to call it Cockroach Ranch. They didn't remember what the hell that Cucamonga is not the same as cucaracha. What's up, Ben? Where the tea is made? Your wife asked you if you could only eat one type of cuisine. Okay, I'm not going to read ahead. Let me think what it would be for me. I don't know. Let's see. And worldwide, surprising answer, and it wasn't Italian. I rarely eat Italian food. And it's not because I don't like it. It's just, the Italian food's all about the sauce. Okay, it really is. I mean, if your sauce is meh, it's not going to be any good. You know. Your favorite is American Chinese. My favorite would not be Asian food. Definitely not. What would it be? Um, I don't know. Something that has olive oil. One of them olive oil people. I can't say Greek because the Greeks eat some weird shit. Well, everybody eats weird shit. But the Greeks eat like a lot of lamb, and I don't like the taste of lamb. There's this one Italian Greek combination restaurant that we go to in town. We went there last weekend. I think it's excellent. It's nothing fancy, but it's not a piece of shit. And but it's something like I always get a Euro platter. Like I'm not getting anything other than that because it's so good. And they have Greek beer, and the Greek beer is good. I know. And find it's hard to believe, but yes, it is. It's because the Germans told them how to make fucking beer, right? I can't. The only thing that would not get old is olive oil and bread. That wouldn't get old. And I don't have it very often, but that would not get old. Bread and olive oil. So, anyway, so this place that's a combination Greek Italian, we would go with these other friends of ours when they were traveling, and this guy ordered, I don't know what the hell it was, but it was a beef. It almost looked like a beef casserole. We had noodles, but the problem is they add like cinnamon to the sweetener, and I don't like cinnamon to begin with. I mean, like Apple Jacks are great, okay, but I'm talking about like real cinnamon, like cinnamon stock cinnamon. Like I hate the smell of it. And they had like beef with like cinnamon and like I'm not gonna eat that, So they have some odd things there, Tex-Mex. It depends. Maybe more Tex than Mex. I'm fine not ever eating Mexican food. Most of it lacks presentation. It looks pre-masticated. I don't mind that it's hot. Hot's a good thing, but spaghetti, huh? Latin American would be for me. I don't know. I mean, I've eaten a lot of Latin American food, but not all the places in Latin America have good food. You know what I can't get enough of? Churrasco. Churrasco is fucking awesome. A good churrasco. Again, what does it have? It has that olive oil. What the hell is it called? That sauce stuff that they use. Churrasco is awesome. There's a place in Miami that they make these big steaks. It's an Argentinian place, and they're so big you share them. So I went there and we shared 3 of them and shared a beer, and it was excellent. They cook it like on this molten rock or something like that. Sriracha. I agree. Sriracha's excellent. Sriracha's really, really good. Cinnamon beef. Nope. Sriracha nationalism. Sriracha's great. I'm telling you that Momofuku's better than Sriracha. Momofuku's better. Let's see. I don't cook, but I sure know how to fucking eat. Momofuku, where are you? Lights should be good here. Is this it? Nope, that's the number. Somebody ate the Momofuku. I don't think it's refrigerated after opening. Maybe I'm wrong. Come on, man. Oh. They probably have this everywhere you guys live. It might just be packaged a little differently. This one in particular is carried by a grocery store chain here called Publix. I don't know what the hell all the food is. This stuff right here, excellent. Just superb. And you need so little of it, goes a long way. Really good tasting stuff. So like for instance, I like sriracha, but sriracha has a little bit of vinegar. It's not too much. If I had more vinegar, I wouldn't like it. So, and sometimes that vinegary like taste may not go with what you're having. Maji's sweet spicy sauce tops sriracha, but nobody ever has it available. I don't know. There's all kinds of different. I mean, I'm sure there's all kinds of different srirachas, but I would only buy one. There's only one sriracha I would buy. Where are you? No, we have that. No wonder I don't cook. I can't find a fucking thing here. Anyways, you know which one it is. Here it is, in the fucking door. The other door. This stuff. I would only buy this one. The cock sauce. Yeah, this stuff is great. Hui Fong Foods in Irwindale. Hui Fong. Hui Fong. Yeah, I think this is Vietnamese because they have, like real letters. Tong at sriracha tom ke dak viet ching kang gem. Yeah, I probably got that all. That stuff's good. That stuff's really good. I don't know. I like Tex-Mex because I love cumin. I love the taste of cumin. There's a Chinese place by me that makes something like that mamafuku. This old dude that works there we call Quasimodo. Okay. He walks around and picks up the dishes. We have this place. I thought the guy was Japanese, but he's not. He's from Taiwan. And he has this food truck that doesn't move. It used to park in this little park next to where we used to live, kind of. And he has the best, he just has ice cream. And he has this taro and black sesame ice cream that's just like fucking amazing, And he's I don't know that he's that old. He just looks like he's that old. He looks really wise, Taiwan. Yeah. You don't call it Taiwan. I said, fine, I'll call it Formosa. You happy now? Wearing a big happy hat? Which I didn't know the Japanese called it that. The Japanese called it the Portuguese name. Because Formosa is the Portuguese name. Yeah, I'm not a fan of fresh cinnamon. Nope. I can't like everything. I like it at Apple Jacks. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Remember those cannibal fuckers, right? That cannibal ice cream that eat each other. You know what I'm talking about. It's in the commercial. It's in the commercial, so it must be true. Yeah, Apple Jacks are excellent. I mean, I haven't eaten them in decades, but yeah, it's more sugar than it is cinnamon. Yeah, whatever. They're still excellent. Quasimodo. I hear Quasimodo, I'm like, oh, so he's kind of Moto. Cinnamon rolls. Sometimes cinnamon rolls can be really good. Cinnamon rolls are not that pungent cinnamon. Like Red Hots, uber pungent. Make you want to punch a baby. An ugly one. That cries a lot, okay? You'd punch a baby only if they're ugly and not mine. So I got a new Japanese car here for you Japanese fans. I picked this thing up, and it's a make-believe car called a Mad Manga. And I don't know what it looks like. It almost has like the lines of an old-school Ferrari-ish. From the side, from the front, it's kind of like a Charger. I'm probably going to leave it in this paint scheme or whatever. $0.50. Oh, and I did pick up some cars at lunchtime. I went to the store. Marty wanted me to look for a car that he had in real life. And they actually had 3 of them. He wanted 2 of them, so I kept one for myself. Where is it? It's an Opel 1975 Opel Kadett. What makes it Japanese? Manga. Isn't manga Japanese? I'll look it up in a second. So he apparently had one of these. So I'm going to convert one of them. He gets 2 because him and his brother wanted one. And then they had this thing that actually looked pretty decent. I've never seen it before. It's a Jaguar that has a Jaguar on it. And it has some pretty cool looking graphics. Have I seen a video of Aston Martin with the MGs? You mean from one of the Bond ones? There's a couple of them that have MGs, right? The one that and Aston Martin, yeah, Aston Martin. Is the old one from Goldfinger and Aston Martin? I think it is. And of course, the one that's in, is it Casino Royale? No, it's one of the other ones. That old one's not a very fast car. The new one maybe, but the old one's not. Like, you know. What's manga mean? Can't get laid? I don't know any of that anime that just appeals to me. The subject matter I don't find it interesting. You know? Some of the art is okay, but the subject's it doesn't speak to me. It's not for me, you know? Like, they should make, like, anime that's, like, samurai shit, right? Like, that's cool. Like, why don't they do that? Maybe they do. I just don't know where to look, but I haven't come across any. That's sure. It's a short reel. Grill comes down, MGs, fire it up. Yeah, I want to say it's Casino Royale, but it might not be. It might be one of the other ones. There we go. I think it's someone showing off the car. What manga means? Or what Kevin was talking about? I don't know. I unashamedly love Japanese vehicles. Like Japanese sports cars, that's my shit. That's what I like. You gotta westernize them though. You gotta put the steering column on the left hand side, but that's what I'm all about. I just love the way they look. Not all of them, but the cars that I really like how they look, they're Japanese sports cars. I like how things are laid out on Japanese vehicles. It makes freaking sense. All right, now we're going to add drippings to see if we can get this thing to come together a little bit more. I'm glad I repainted it. All this area on the bottom was black, and I'm glad I repainted it white, the same color as the body, because it just wasn't working for me. There was just too much black on it. And it just, if the black is really close to the wheel well, it ends up looking like you've got a whole lot of gap, and it looks weird. It looks weird to me. Looks weird to me. Speaking of Japanese sports cars, I got a lot of Z's. Shimoni vehicles exhaust farts. Really? It's got to have a lot of exhaust. I could do better than that. Maybe what's exhaust farts in German? That could be the name of the German one. It's got to have something like a big old tailpipe. Saw some kind of article or whatever, and it was making fun of like everybody that drove a Corvette was like somebody had a midlife crisis, and then somebody answered back, and it's true. It's like, well, the only reason you see people with a Corvette that have a midlife crisis because you can't fucking afford them. You know, and that's true. You know, it's like who can afford that kind of a vehicle when they're college age. You know, I would argue that you can't afford any vehicles these days. Fart and grooving. Yeah? Like a hippie van. Fart and grooving. All that money that Marcus is able to save by not having a vehicle. So I'm really pretty bitter about what's happened with the price of vehicles the last 5 years. I'm really pretty bitter about it. I just have to get over it. But where things just automatically went up a certain amount just because of the big C. The tariff thing doesn't make it better, but the big C was, I told somebody this weekend, I said, hey, you looking at Hot Wheels cars? I said, yeah, they're the only affordable cars you can look at anymore. You bought a car, what'd you buy? Better be a Japanese car, just saying. This, you know, when things just go up in price just because, well, that's just how it is now. And everybody just goes along and just like, well, I guess we'll have to buy one at that price. I'm like, I'm ready to start. Yep, that's it. It was the excuse for everything bad that's happened in my lifetime. That was the excuse that triggered it all. Fucking pisses me off. Should have had a war over it. And it's funny. When it happened exactly at the same. I'm not a conspiracy person at all. But it's awfully coincidental that that all happened at the same time that Hong Kong was doing all those huge protests. And I guarantee one of the reasons behind it's like, man, we got to kill all these people, but we can't. So what do? I don't know. Let's come up with something to make them go indoors. And it just kind of went away. It just got swept away. 10-year-old Subaru Outback from my parents as they were buying a new car, keeping it in Virginia. Well, the only thing I don't like about a Subaru Outback is I have this thing. I think the Subarus are great cars. Okay? We have two. I think they're finicky, but I'm finicky with them. They haul ass. That Outback hauls ass. It's just Outback is too station wagony for me. I can't drive anything remotely like a station wagon. I will suffer post-traumatic syndrome from being a kid, having a station wagon, being driven in a station wagon. Like, that's the only issue with it. The Outback is an extremely popular car. Although, Marcus, I really didn't take you for a lesbian. No, they're good cars. They're really good cars. Those engines, they haul ass. And all-wheel drive, man, I don't know that I can go back to non-all-wheel drive. I just see the waifu off to work. You had a test game of Sea Creek 4 tonight at the club. Aside from getting a bit mixed up with the bearing from target, it was a good once we got used to the thought process. We only managed 3 hits on, and it was a dud. I don't think we rolled outside the first column. Yeah, the rate of fire is really low on those old guns. You're back. What did I miss? Yeah. When we were looking at, because, we have been leasing Toyotas for a long time, and then, the big C hit, and nobody had anything, and the Camry didn't change their model, and we didn't want to drive a couple Camrys again. To be honest with you, the Camry is a good-looking car. Not the new one. The new one looks like a melted asshole. I don't like it. But like the model that I had, it stayed the same. 2012, it changed in 15 to 17 or 18. Yeah, the 18 until like the 24. I think it normally run like 3-year cycles, and this one ran for 6. It's a good looking car, but it needs more ass. It needs to get up to 60 miles an hour quicker. Other than that, it's a good looking car. I really had no complaints with it, other than it was underpowered. So when we were looking for them, I came across this meme that was like, Subarus are not just for lesbians anymore. It was like, because the 2 models we have are the 2 non-lesbian versions. But even their minivan, like, hauls ass, because it's got traction on all 4 tires, Bottom line, you're getting out of New York City in 2.5 years. I hope they let you leave. Oh, man. Just a different world, man. My daughter's in D.C. for this week, which sucks because I really would like to go with her, to looking at museums and shit like that. She went to Air and Space Museum, and I told her, I said, you went without me? I'm like, I bet your experience, I literally told her, I bet your experience sucked compared to going with me, Said she went to the Holocaust Museum. I have not been to that one, but I knew she went there yesterday. So I went on their website. They had some stuff on there. Like, yeah, there's some powerful stuff there. You know, Comrade Mundami needs you to pay for his programs. Big C. Yeah, I don't want to mention those. I don't want to mention that word. Damn it, it's a cuss word. Hate that. His excuse. It made everything sorry. Oh, well, we don't have it in stock because of this. Oh, well, that's just how things are. Well, we don't or have anything, It was just an excuse for everything. Glad my dad never got to see it. He would have been pissed. Of course, he would have been older at that point where he didn't care, You get to a certain age, you're like, yeah, what's the big deal? I get that. Stand 6 feet away from people, all that. We watch stand up. Any comedians that came out during that time period, we won't watch them. Like, we're not watching the whole show. It's all about that. Because during that time period, it was like business as usual for me at work, right? Like, we got really busy. Everybody else sitting at home, working from home, being lazy in their pajamas, all this kind of stuff. Nobody has anything in stock at the stores. Got to go, do all the calisthenics to go into the grocery store and walk in this way and put this on your head and do. And I'm like, and meanwhile, we're like, man, we're just kicking ass at work. It's like, man, I'm exhausted. And everybody else is like being lazy. Coming up with excuses not to do their job is normal. Well, I only got it because we wanted to go on a cruise, but I didn't get any boosters. And I don't have a problem with the getting vaccine, okay? The vaccine, the high, because I have all my other vaccines, it's not like I'm anti-vaccine. I'm just like, oh, you have to get it. Well, now I don't want to, Now I don't want to fucking get it because you told me I have to get it. And then, even worse than that is, well, you gotta have vaccine. Okay, fine, I got it. Well, you still gotta wear the mask. Fuck you. I am anti-mask. I'm sorry. I don't have to be in people's business. If there was business that if you had a mask, that's fine and go in there. You have a right to run your business however the hell you want. If you want to have a business and you only want green people to go in there with red hair, it's your business. You run it however the fuck you want. But I ain't playing that shit. The illogicalness. Like that one guy that went in the bathroom. Like he went in, he's all masked up in the fucking bathroom and everything. He goes in the stall and doesn't wash his fucking hands. So you go to a public fucking bathroom and you don't wash your hands. Even if your hands are clean and you didn't do anything in there, you're still grabbing the freaking door and stuff where, people, finger painting with feces. Like, no, there's something wrong with some of these people, I don't know, how does that go again? George Carlin was one of my favorites. Yeah, George Carlin's great. Yeah, George Carlin is probably one of the best ones out there. Yeah. Clot shot. Yeah. I had no side effects. None. Never got Never got COVID that I know of. Never. If I did get it, it didn't have any fucking symptoms. But what really bothered me more than anything else is people would get pissed that you weren't scared. You know? There'd be people out there that would be flat out, they were angry, enraged that you could go out living like a normal life like before. Like that you're not hiding under a bed. They would be enraged. What's up, Marty? Well, that's all I got left of the Guinness. I drank it slowly. I'd rather would have had whiskey. Oh, and just to prove it, so I'll keep one, and two will go your way whenever the fuck I see you. You got COVID twice. First time was rough, like a very angry flu. Well, it is a flu. And the second bout was akin to a cold. And it would have been a good opportunity to be like, all right, well, we need to rethink this. Well, what do you mean we need to rethink this? I said, well, we got some kind of a pandemic, whether you believe it or not, there's a pandemic. People are getting sick. And everything that we're using to combat this pandemic is made in the same country that may or may not have caused the pandemic to begin with. You know? Like, oh, well, we got to wear gloves. Who makes the gloves? Exactly. Who makes the masks? Like, I want a scenario where those fuckers lose. Right? It should have been a wake-up call. Like, all right, well, we didn't make medicines here. We need to do this here. We need to do, we need to be self-sufficient. Should have been a wake-up call. You got the shot plus 2 boosters, had COVID twice now, and I've still never had it. I don't know. But I'm not in contact with that many people to begin with. Now, before the COVID thing, right? You'd get a cold at a convention because there's just too many dirty fuckers at convention, right? There's some people that never wash their hands. Here's the other thing is, when COVID started happening, there's a fair amount of people that started washing their hands that probably never washed their hands regularly enough. Like, I'm in a construction type job, so every time I go outside, I come back in, I'm washing my hands. So I'm probably washing, plus every time you pee, so I'm probably washing my hands, I don't know, we talked about this, Justin, the other day. I'm probably washing my hands 50 times a day, 40, at least 40 to 50 times a day, And it's not because I'm scared, it's just that, you walk up, it feels good to wash your hands, So... Got to remember, if I do go to the convention, I need to take some of that emergency. Just to, give yourself a boost of, fight off a regular cold, Yeah, this is the Mick-mobile here. You're something of a germaphobe, so you wash your hands often anyways. Well, if you work somewhere where there's dust and stuff, and you handle a lot of papers, you don't really want to get the papers dirty. You know what I mean? So you wash your fucking hands. I mean, I don't get that dirty, but it's just, still. I think this is just going to take several layers of just enhancing these lines to make it pop. This is a little bit more of a streamlined model than most of them, considering it's a concept vehicle. Not as bad as Howard Hughes, but I don't know what kind of ick is on the surface I would touch in public. Howard Hughes was a germaphobe. Howie Mandel's the only germaphobe I know. He's the fist bump guy. Which actually, I like the fist bump thing. I don't like the raised fist thing, but I like the fist bump thing. Okay, I think what we need to drop this darkness in here. I think we can. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Yeah, this window actually did not have. It had these supports etched in it, but they weren't painted. So all the window was all green, even though it had the frame on it and everything. The paint department's like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to do that. I designed it for you to do. No, we're not going to paint that. Oh, it's early. Well, you know what I hate? And maybe it's just because I'm Latin. I hate shaking hands with a female. It's weird. It's really weird. I also don't like shaking hands with some dude that's like all like limpy. I'm like, why is your girlfriend working this late? Is she like paramedic or something like that? I think who's got weird hours. Well, I know she's not a pole dancer, but I worked night shift many years ago one time, and it was kind of cool. Well, I was single, so it didn't matter. But it was like, man, you could leave work and the grocery stores were just opening. I mean, you had to fight off some blue hairs to get your groceries, but other than that, it's pretty good. I don't know if I'd want to do it now. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's getting better as we screw with it. Like this blood-like stuff on here, like it's maybe chewed up a few people. That's how they make the corned beef. I don't know that I'm going to glue that in. I think just leaving it in there, just a freaking paper clip. So who's going to be up next? Well, we got to finish doing the hillbilly hacksaw, because it's already out here. I'm really in no hurry to make a rig. That doesn't mean I'm not going to build one. It's just like I'm just not really in a hurry to do it. I'll make it when I'm damn ready for it. Bit of rust. Drippings. As I like to say, whatever world this is, they definitely have a problem with acid rain. You know. The problem is I wish I'd give a chance to printing my own decals. I have decal paper. I'm just scared to do it because I could totally see using chat to make up a decal for the size of a vehicle and make that, you know. I just don't know how it's going to work out. This is definitely looking better. It needed this weathering stuff to it. It needed the drippings. I don't know, I feel like I need to make a tank before I make a rig. And I think the first tank I'm going to do is I'm going to make the Black Panther. I'm going to make the Black Panther for the brothers. It's going to have a different hull, but I'm going to use. I have one of these old Panthers that I have that is just beat the shit. I got to beat the shit. I'll put the Panther turret on it. So it'll be a Panther turret, not with a Panther gun. So you have that piece of shit. Beat up Panther? I don't know. I just think that would be it. I need to see if I can find. I bet I've got one of my African troop guys. I can put him in the turret or something like that with like binoculars or something like that. Yeah, there's one rig that I saw a picture of that looked immense. And I don't want to get things that look immense, because if they look immense, then they have to have an immense amount of points. I mean, I think they do, or you're doing it wrong, you know. And I like the idea that, you can't put a ship, you can't put a rig that has everything on it, because then it doesn't allow you to make another one, right? That's why 27 points is kind of a sweet spot. If you make it too many points, then it's like, okay, well, I'd like for this to have a Magnum and also a submachine gun and also maybe a shotgun for it. And if you do that for every vehicle becomes the same vehicle. So in my opinion, that kind of defeats the purpose of creating new vehicles. That's the way I look at it anyways. All right, we're going to super glue this thing, and I think super gluing it here is the place to put it. It's fixed, so I don't want to put it here because then the door can't open. I'd like for it to be functional if possible. I don't want to put it on the hood because then this gets in the way. I think if we glue it there, we're all right. A few years back, after watching Mad Max for the first time, watched quite a few videos on making rigs. I still never finished Mad Max. I still got a lot of, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 minutes left on it. It's just so dated. It just does not age well. And that's what I have trouble with. I don't mind old movies. I don't mind foreign movies. But a movie that just doesn't age well, that looks blurry and crap, kind of hard to get excited about. And the new Mad Max movies, I don't know how they are. I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're not as dated, obviously. The daughter wants to see them, so I don't want to see them without her. And the only reason I want to see them is for inspiration. But I have a feeling that they look more like Borderlands than they do this. I have a feeling they're very Borderlands-like. With like the mutations and stuff like that. All right, let's paint the metal on this. Metal. Which is the darkest one? Iron Warriors? Okay. Iron Warriors it is. I'm surprised. There's a lot of people that do really good paint jobs on these things. But I'm surprised how many people do paint jobs where it's like, here's my team of whatever, and they all have the same paint job. And that's just I think a missed opportunity. I don't want to do that. Let's say I was repainting every vehicle like I did Marty's truck, right? I wouldn't paint them okay, well, this team's all green cars. I wouldn't do that, I watched with some friends. One of them was sharing their screen on Discord. We made jokes occasionally. Didn't find it too dated. Oh, the new one? Yeah, I haven't used Discord much. I find it difficult to. I mean, I guess it's a pretty anonymous one, right? If you want to go and cause trouble, Discord might be the one to do. I mean, obviously you don't want to do it on Facebook. You got to have pictures of yourself and stuff like that. But if you wanted to cause trouble, which I'm never really interested in doing, I got too many problems in the workplace to volunteer for trouble when I'm not getting paid for it. The first Mad Max, I found it extremely dated. Extremely dated. Much more dated than, what was that movie that you recommended me with Christopher Lee? I didn't find that bad. And that's a pretty dated movie, but I didn't find that one that bad. What was that called? The Wicker Man. The Wicker Man. I don't like Christopher Lee to begin with. Oh, he's a war hero. Well, good for him. I just don't. I don't go. Oh, he's in a movie. Oh, I want to see that. Like, you know. I'm glad he played the bad guy. He's kind of creepy. You know. How many of the original Mad Max are there? 2 or 3? What's cool about Discord is like a private forum. My friends have a section for a movie, recommendations, sharing pictures, playing video games, and hanging out together online. Is it people you know, or like people you just, is it like you and me, or like people that you know physically? And I don't mean physically like, you're touching each other. I mean the people that you encounter. Like Marty and I. Like I know Marty. I know what he looks like. I know where he lives. I just don't find it very user friendly. Maybe just. I feel like I need to put some black washings on it. Okay, that doesn't look bad. That doesn't look bad. Man, the tires almost always look really good. I mean, it's almost really consistent. The dry brushing on the tires just like nails it every time. And this thing actually improved a lot when I painted the frame around the glass. Because like I said, the glass was there, but it had no frame around it. So it was like this free-form, like plexiglass thing, and it did have the pieces engraved, but... Let's take a photo to show you guys. Ah! Falling asleep. Where is this? I'll put it down here. Okay. Yeah, this has got to be like ladies first or something like that. So it's got... Is it a brown or a gold? I guess she's kind of gold. Actually, she almost looks like that Buddha figure. You know the Buddha figure that's almost female-like? That has like long dangly earrings and has her hair up kind of in a bun? That's kind of what it looks like. Well, actually the black one does too. I don't know. I'm sure we'll make the right decision when it is. I have friends on Discord that I know like you that I'll message, but the built-out Discords with sections for movie watching, hanging out, and sharing pictures would I have my real-life friends. Yeah, I would love, and I don't know how to do this. I guess I don't want to do it bad enough. I would love to sit down and if there was a way to okay, Mitch and I are going to go watch a movie, and then anybody can join it just for listening to our color commentary. And I'm telling you, when we sat there and watched Hardcore Henry, That's one of the funniest things I've ever. That's one of the funniest experiences I've ever had. That was absolutely hilarious, and he really enjoyed it too. It was just like laugh a minute. All right, now it's called the game called. Let's see if Tony knows how to focus properly. Now, what you got to do with these photos is you got to take some of the glare off. So they're brighter than they really look when they take them. So you got to come over here and mess with the light balance and mess with the brightness because it's always too bright and the exposure. And this little kite came out of a junk pile. Somebody's unloved toy. I think it probably looks about as good as I was expecting it. Unlike what's it called? Dirty Cooter. Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad. I think it's good enough to just say, that's good enough. None of these have been sprayed. That's Murphy's lawnmower. Whenever I get this Harry Potter mobile, what do we call this thing? Dog farts drop out. I have friends. It's okay. It looks good. Yeah, it looks passable. It looks better than what it started with. It doesn't have a crew. It'll have a crew whenever I come across the figures. The tires look really good. It looks like I spent a ton of time on the tires. The tires always turn out well. Seems like. Seems like they always do. All right, this little bastard here. We need to add, now that it's dry, we need to go ahead and add some of these metal parts to it. It'd be pretty cool if I got this guy done too. Yeah, like this one. I'm not even gonna bother taking this thing apart. Oh, what was I gonna look up? I was gonna look up Mad Manga, Hot Wheels Mad Manga. It'll probably give you some background information on it, like why it's called that and what it's influenced by. Mad Manga Hot Wheels. Oh, they make a police one. It's a pretty good looking car. It's an attractive vehicle, but it's futuristic. So this thing needs to have like a laser or something like that. It needs to have like some future weapon. Okay, it's a 1970s style Japanese Bosozuku coupe, meaning oversized fender flares, slanted headlights and taillights, a lengthened nose profile, a large DEPA air dam, and exaggerated Takayari exhaust pipes. Yeah, they're definitely exaggerated. It's like it was released from 2012, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 different color schemes. Born in 2011, this anime-inspired speedster features an aggressively long-nosed chin spoiler and over fenders. The front-mounted air cooler and extended exhaust pipes are both for high performance and for making a lot of noise late in the night. And here's some concept art that they had. Yeah, walk me through it and I'll do it, you know. I'm not technology incompetent. I just know that some things are just like counterintuitive, you know. Yeah, it is kind of long. Now, the longer your vehicle is, the farther it gets to move. But it's also less maneuverable. Most vehicles are about the same length. Now, if you had something that was like really short and something really long, yeah, we'd see it significantly, you know, but it is just a game. At the end of the day, it is just a game. It is just a game. I'm surprised that I really hadn't seen more people come up with their own teams. Maybe they have, but they're not posting about it. I'm really surprised. And maybe it's some people don't think they're creative. I don't know. I don't think you need to be that creative to come up with that stuff. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Well, I drank my Guinness, so mission accomplished. Did I? Did I finish it? No. Still got a couple sips. I drank it slow enough. I wasn't feeling the effects of it. Perfect. That's not what we needed it for. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the lighter color, or the more bright silver, and let's pick some stuff out. But I think you could use chat to make up some other gameplay modes, because I've read through the gameplay modes in the book, and honestly, this is like the only one worth playing. I really haven't messed with the zombies or really looked at it too much. That one may be worth doing, but a lot of the play modes seem a little lackluster. But you could come up with your own, you know. I mean, the author even says there, it's like, you know, you don't have to follow my stuff. You could use something completely different. Well, I didn't ask permission, but okay. I guess that's a sign I probably need to stop. Well, we did quite a bit. I got farther than I thought I was going to. I'll post pictures of this little guy here soon. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. And